First thing I want to point out is our heat fusion epoxy. We use heat fusion epoxy coating on all parts on the outside and the inside of the valve. The second item I'd like to point out is our stainless steel fasteners. At Singer, we use stainless steel bolts and washers. The reason we use washers is it protects the epoxy coating from getting chipped off. By using the stainless steel, we have no issues with corrosion, which will allow us a long time in the future to be able to take this valve apart for proper servicing. Another key point to look at this valve is the stem cap. By putting a stem cap on all valves of 2.5 inches and larger, it enables us to get into the top of the valve without having to remove the bonnet. So if I needed to add a position indicator, I could easily just take this off, add the position indicator, and then put it back on instead of having to remove the entire bonnet. Just makes it a lot easier to add additional equipment to the valve later. Okay, let's take this valve apart and see what else is on the inside that we should be showing you. First, we'll start with taking the stem cap off. Okay, as we take the last bolt out, just hold the top of the stem cap down so the spring doesn't push it off. What you'll see inside here is the upper guide bushing. This ensures that the valve opens and closes in a straight line every time. And then we have the spring that we put in on top of the diaphragm. So you want to take those both out. Now we can start to remove the bonnet. Okay, now that we got all the bolts removed, we can just take a screwdriver, give a little pop to lift the lid, the bonnet, lift the bonnet off, and we'll just set it to the side. It was nice and easy to pop that bonnet off because at Singer we use that pinned covers, which allows us to put heat fusion epoxy on the top of the body and the bottom of the bonnet, where we then pinch this diaphragm. So we have no surfaces that could corrode and cause any kind of adhesion. It allows us to get that bonnet off nice and easy. So now that we have the bonnet off, we're able to actually pull out the entire inner valve of this 6-inch valve. Once we get the inner valve out, we can just slide it into a vise. At Singer, we add these wrench flats that makes it nice and easy for you to hold the valve either by a wrench or put it into the vise so that you don't do any damage to the valve. So we can put it into a vise and tighten it up to take the rest of it apart. So now we can start taking the inner valve apart if you wanted to do a diaphragm or disc replacement of the inner valve. Once you get the top stem nut off, then we can take the upper clamp plate out. There we are. Upper clamp plate and the diaphragm. One of the things that separates Singer completely from any of our competitors is that in valves 6-inch and larger, we use a rolling diaphragm. It does not look like a normal diaphragm. It actually has the couplet in it. The single biggest advantage of a rolling diaphragm is it gives us the ability to work at very low flows. Our low flow stability is the best in the industry, and it is the best by far. What you're looking at now is the inside of the body, and the seat that is in there is 3/16 stainless. It is a hard stainless, and because it's such a good high quality stainless steel seat, Singer gives a lifetime warranty. The seat is held in place by machine screws. These are put into a spiral lock tapping, which is anti-vibration. There's no possibility of them coming undone when the valve is in operation. In fact, you should almost never have to take this seat out. The only time that we've seen it ever need to come out is if some debris, rocks, wood ever came under here and you couldn't get out. So this does allow you to remove the seat to remove that debris, but in all likelihood you should never have to take this seat out. At Singer Valve, we put a lot of quality advantages in our valves. It is the only way we'll build them, and we build our valves this way and only this way.